What is up, everybody? This is the Nevada results stream. Let's celebrate a Bernie W. We got numbers constantly ticking in now. They've been coming in for about 15 minutes. I didn't want to start the stream too early when there was no activity, but we have 1% of the vote reporting with Bernie Sanders at 51.3% and Joe Biden at 25.4%. I'm not going to lie to you. I did not expect Joe Biden to do this well. I mean, I know it's only 1% reporting, but I expected him to be not even breaking the threshold. And considering the amount of money that Tom Steyer has put down in Nevada, I'm shocked that he hasn't yet broken the threshold either. Again, only 1% reporting, but things should constantly update. I'm not going to lie to y'all. I'm going to be playing some Wolfsen while the results come in, and doing my best to chat with the group as well in the meantime. Let's see. What are some things we can talk about? Well, there's the debates. The debates happened the other day, and damn, what was it? It was on Thursday, I believe. Yeah, the debates were Thursday, and considering the fact that Warren had what I would have considered to be a surprisingly good performance in the debates, she doesn't seem to be doing well in the caucuses today because of that. Like, from what small footage I could see from local news coverages in Nevada, there was basically no support for Elizabeth Warren. Now, I don't blame people for not supporting her, even in spite of that performance. They could probably read how opportunistic it all was, and if you're anti-billionaire, which is basically what she was being in that debate, you already know what your best option is, aka Bernie Sanders, the man, the legend. So, yeah, that's why I don't really think that while I can appreciate her attacking Bloomberg and being anti-billionaire again, I just don't think it was ever going to be as effective as she needs it to be. Let's see, what else? There's a lot of other things going on. There's the fact that Elizabeth Warren, after talking about not taking PAC money on stage the other day, is now taking PAC money, claiming that because everyone except her and Amy are taking super PAC money, when definitionally Bernie Sanders is not taking any super PAC money. He has organizations that raise money for him, through small donations like Our Revolution and others who support him, but they are not super PACs. They are not the same thing. No, just dump it. Yeah, so that's how that's going. Elizabeth Warren being two-faced and all that, and claiming a mantle of pride that she doesn't actually, setting a standard that she doesn't actually live to. What else is new? I imagine that a significant part of Nevada and their native population don't appreciate her lying about her heritage, or let's try to be generous and say that she just didn't know what her actual heritage was, so she misreported it to people. It's still not great, but you know, I don't think the story of the whole her being in a recipe book called Pow Wow Chow served her very well in that community, among other things. Let's see. Yang and everything has dropped out. However, he's still getting votes. I'm honestly surprised by that because he told his supporters to go for Bernie Sanders in the event that he left. Now that he has, it's kind of frustrating to see that some of his supporters are still sticking with him even though he's not in the race anymore. Like, people talk about wasted votes, and usually I'm not a vote shamer, but in an instance like that where the person isn't even running any longer, why even bother to take the time to go out? Like, there are people who do need your support, because you know, with what happened at the debate the other day, it was like one of the last questions before the final statements, if not the very last question, discussing, you know, whether or not the DNC should be allowed to basically make deals to get Bernie to lose in spite of having more votes than anybody on the day of the convention. So, you know, it kind of makes you wonder what's actually going on and what their intentions are. Because Bernie's the only one that has stated that whoever has the most votes should get the W, regardless of what the DNC rules might allow them to finagle with the brokered convention. Especially when you have someone like Bloomberg who's buying the will of all the superdelegates, much like Hillary did in 16 by bailing out the DNC the way she did. So, yeah, I just don't like that, you know, all these other candidates, even someone like Warren, who, you know, claims to be morally righteous, would still support something that's like blatantly undemocratic. But, you know, she's never been who she claims to be in race, creed, or, you know, or belief. You know, she was a Republican until not all that long ago. Granted, she wasn't a Republican for as long as Bloomberg was, but, you know, Bloomberg's a rich bastard, so at least I understand why, you know, the greedy people who are, you know, running the DNC support him is because of the cash. And Warren doesn't even have that argument. In fact, Warren and Biden have I think it's Warren and Biden? Yeah, I think the two of them have very, very little money. And if they don't do well enough here, they might be hanging it up. Just because they don't have enough money to continue and make I was going to say they don't have enough money to make a real run at it, but they've been unable to make a real run at this nomination for months now. Like, they have no shot. It's really at this point just a vanity project for them. If you're an individual giving your money to these campaigns, I genuinely have to wonder why. Like, you have way too much money if you're throwing it away in such frivolous efforts like that. That being said, if you have money to donate to someone like Warren or Biden at this point, then I can tell why your class interests don't align with Bernie Sanders' agenda. That's not too hard to put two and two together there. Let's see, no real changes in the voting yet, unfortunately. It's still continuously updating, or at least checking for updates. It's always frustrating how long it takes to count these things, especially in a caucus. Like, I can kind of understand if we were doing paper votes and everything. The early votes were on paper at least, so we have that. That can't be messed with the DNC, but it's kind of hard to trust that this caucus is going to go off without any people trying to do anything cheap and undermine, you know, who the real winner should be. Oh man, I thought when I started this stream, because of the fact that it was updating so rapidly, that we were going to have this, you know, cascade of votes coming in. But I guess, from what I understand in the breakdown, not that I have that being shown here, the votes we have had are from, like, Clark County and the Vegas area. So it's so not to say that there isn't more to come in from that, but um, so far we do have a you know we don't really have rural representation from Nevada coming in quite yet. Um, I'm gonna lose this boss fight. The first act boss in Wilson is like dumb hard. It's really quite ridiculous because they expect you to dodge things that are not dodgeable. I mean, I should probably restart my machines so things aren't running quite as crappy as they are now. For playing this and doing well, but it does seem odd for a game like this to base boss fights on some very split-second dodges and decisions when, server ping is a thing, especially for an indie game where the server farms, let's face it, have been failing people for days on end now. But I think I'm gonna back up here and yeah, I mean I would be playing the game on screen, but I want the results to be there. Plus the performance of the last stream I had trying to run this game and streaming was quite poor. No one in the stream yet, no one watching. Hooray! I'm mega popular, you guys. I'm gonna take a second to post the fact that I'm streaming on Facebook, see if I can't get anybody in here. And I'm gonna focus more on the results and things now, rather than trying to also game while doing this crap. Yeah, see, they're having frame skips and crap. I'm gonna close Wilson and focus on this stream currently. I should have restarted the PC before doing this. My PC, aka Big Bertha, likes to be dramatic. When it's been on all day, and I need to get a 32 gig memory kit, but that stuff's expensive. And this channel, and if this channel had any success, it'd be more justified to invest in it in that way. So, but as of right now, it's pricey, man. What do you want? I haven't gotten my first paycheck for my computer repair job yet, but when I do, I will be probably making some upgrades to the stream, certainly including my camera. Alright, I posted to my social media. I always tweet through the Streamlabs app when I go live. Not that I have the most active Twitter following in the world. Why are they asking me to sign in? Of course I'm like, what are they? Let's see what's going on here. What is the story? What's Decision HQ's final projection? 37 Sanders, 15 Buttigieg, 15 Biden, 12 Warren, 9 Steyer. Honestly, I'm going to say that they're wrong, because I don't think Buttigieg is going to hit the 15% margin, and Biden might, but let's hope not, because if no one else hits the 15% margin, if I understand the rules correctly, that means Bernie Sanders gets all the delegates, but I don't want to be presumptuous there. Oh yeah, that's an important thing to bring up. All the drama with the culinary union and the shit that they tried to make a big deal about on the debate stage, it didn't work. The union members themselves largely are voting for Bernie Sanders because in let's see, because the leadership is not in step with their members, from my understanding. This video from Chris Barrett. High school in North Las Vegas rejected the rules that we can have as many observers who can fit in the caucus room. The Nevada Democrat site lead ignored the Bernie Sanders observers trying to sign in. Okay, so originally earlier in the day they said they had problems with volunteers not showing up, and now they're not letting the observers sign in and observe properly in certain sites either. And you can kind of know why, because when you read the story from the other day where they said that they're making the volunteers for Nevada sign non-disclosure agreements after the shit show that went down in Iowa, it's like, come on, man. They're deliberately trying to be not transparent, and it just erodes trust in the system. And I hope everything goes off well here. I hope Bernie gets the win that he deserves for all the work that Chuck Rocha and everyone else in the Hispanic community put in for this man. But I gotta say, I'm a little uneasy about the potential for people, fucking with things. Oh my God. Wow. Headline Bloomberg News. Watch for who finishes second in Nevada. A Sanders victory won't be a surprise. The attention will go to the next best. Wow. Wow, guys. They're not even trying to hide their disdain. Like, come on, if you're going to be a shithead about things, at least try to be clever. That's just sad. Wow. Wow. So the Pat the Burner, great account. Follow him. He's definitely a strong Bernie supporter. He says that given these two polls, Bernie Sanders is smashing with people who call themselves very liberal. That's quite obvious. And only 2 points behind Biden with people who call themselves moderates. Although it's strange that Buttigieg is the same story. He's also only 2 points behind Biden in that case. These are entrance polls. But look at that very liberal gap there. Like, this gap in the polling for those who call themselves very liberal should show Warren supporters that they aren't as left as they think they are. Like, Bernie Sanders 52, Warren 17. Like, get out of here. When are these Warren stands gonna realize that they're fake? Like, amazing. I gotta be real with you. I haven't had the time to watch all the Bernie events like I usually do, to listen for the new talking points he brings up or how he tailors his speech to the crowds. I haven't heard anything about his disability policy on stage necessarily. I just know that he released it some time ago on his website, and I appreciate that. But the reason why I haven't been able to keep up with this stuff as well as I usually do, hell, I'm not even totally caught up on the Majority Report, is I recently got a new job where I'm working in computer repair, and It didn't say anything in the employee manual about not wearing headphones to listen to things, but based on what my coworkers do and everything, or more accurately don't do, I don't think that he would be down, that the boss man would be down for me listening to my regular streams and stuff. Uh, as I do my computer repair and whatnot, which, I mean, I'm fine with. It's paying well, and they're helping me a lot with transportation, given my disability and everything. So shout out to Jerry at On-Site Computers in Maryland. He's a good dude, and yeah, I can appreciate people who take a chance on a cripple like me. So and that same shout out goes to anybody who follows and subscribes to the channel. Hell, if you even watch, I don't even care if you subscribe at this point. I am sick of seeing a 0 up in the corner. That is lame.
I would watch, but I like listening to you already.
Well, yeah, Cal, I don't need somebody who's in the same house to be watching my stream. That doesn't make me feel much better. I need outside validation. Outside. Alright. This isn't a blue check reporting, but this guy says some Nevada caucus locations are blatantly artificially inflating Pete and Amy's numbers via BS pre-filled out preference forms because people had to go to soccer games, and then gymnasiums are trying to avoid a crush of people. As they say that, the video of this gym shows that there's basically nobody in there. So to pretend that like they're getting people out of the building, by giving them these pre-filled out forms for other people to come in is kind of a load. You guys can see the video in the stream. I mean, I've seen better attended, funerals for murderers, for God's sake. So, yeah, there ain't nobody in there. Reminds me of the election site where that lady was like trying to get up hype for Hillary Clinton, with the I believe that she will win, and then like the crowd was supposed to call back, but they just kind of kept staring at their phones like, I can't believe I'm here doing this right now. That's the level of enthusiasm I'm seeing in that gym that's quote trying to avoid a crush of people. Nice. 12-year-old Joseph translating for his older uncle so he can caucus for Bernie. Awesome pick of Bernie Sanders feeding a cow. I honestly want to know how the early votes that started today in California have been going. I know you can't count the early votes early. At least to my knowledge, you can't do that, or you can't divulge the results until day of. But I sincerely hope that Bernie crushes in California the same or better as he's looking to crush here in Nevada. Let's be real here. I did not do any filters other than clicking on the hashtag for Nevada caucus. And it's Bernie, 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 Bernie all the way down. Like, so, some of the people are here because I follow them, but others I don't, and they're still here. Like, hashtag Nevada caucus, hashtag Bernie Sanders. I'm not seeing any hashtag, Joe Biden 2020. It's all Bernie, Bernie, Bernie.
I like the sound of that. Ow.
Are you, what?
I'm okay. I get up, slam my hand into the freaking close
60,
the door.
62% of the vote in a heavily culinary union precinct of the Bellagio with 62% of the vote. See, I told you, the rank and file weren't going to follow the leaders on this like anti-Bernie nonsense because they know they don't have to worry about getting any less health care if Medicare for all passes. Because that's just straight up stupid. The argument that like they're going to kick 180 million people off the health care that they love. If anything, people like their doctors because doctors are nice people most of the time. All right, I've had plenty of doctors. I would know. They do not give a flying F about their insurance companies. Nobody does. Nobody sheds a tear for the insurance companies. And I think at this point, even though they keep using that talking point, they they have to know somewhere deep down that it doesn't work, and that people are smart enough to understand that that's a different thing. Like, and it's hard for me to. Is it the boomers that still fall for that crap or what? I don't know. Because like I genuinely haven't seen anybody who I could verify as a real person or met anybody personally who doesn't understand the difference between health insurance and healthcare providers. And that's one of the other frustrating things about the new job. No disrespect to Jerry and everything, like I said, they're helping me out a ton. Shout out to On-Site Computers in Maryland. He doesn't like politics being discussed in the shop, and like you gotta realize that I have small talk with my coworkers, and that's great. But do you know how hard it is for me to fight my urge to bring up Bernie Sanders or unionizing this place or like any of the other things that my clearly lefty self wants to do? I don't like when I see people take pictures of ballots, alright? If you say you voted for somebody, we believe you, okay? Because I'm not sure if Nevada is one of the states, but there are states where if you photograph your ballot, you invalidate it. Because it's not allowed to photograph your ballot. In fact, just in the interest of the stream, I'm going to look that up now. Voting 2018. Here's what every state says about taking a picture of ballots. Don't do it in Alabama, Arizona, Florida, Georgia, Illinois, Iowa. God damn it, I know I saw people do that shit in Iowa. Come on. Maryland, Michigan, Nevada, New Jersey, New York, North Carolina, Ohio, South Carolina, South Dakota, Tennessee, Texas, and West Virginia. See, this is what I'm talking about. Now I gotta tweet back at that guy who took a picture of his ballot and be like, you can't do that. It invalidates your goddamn vote. Why don't people look this stuff up before doing it? Oh, his was a California mail-in. Okay, so he just hashtagged the Nevada caucus for no goddamn reason in the post? Alright, dude, I see. Good lord, is that all Bernie people? Yeah, it looks like it. Jesus. Wait, is Ted Lieu running in Nevada? You can't... Doesn't that break the electioneering laws? Showing up to a caucus site with donuts? Oh, it's just for the volunteers, I guess? Those donuts do look good, though, not gonna lie. Ew. A Pete Buttigieg precinct captain. Can you imagine how boring a conversation with this person is? Oh, that's the lamest thing I've ever seen. Pete's Army in the font of frickin' Harry Potter. Oh my god. Yo, this person needs to get roasted. I can't. I'm not even gonna. I'll leave, You know what? I'm gonna retweet this and tag somebody like Michael Brooks in it, because I feel like he would have a field day with this one. Let's go ahead and do that. But then after this, I'm gonna.
This won't be allowed.
I'm gonna. It's fine. It's whatever. Like I said, nobody's currently watching right now, so.
I'm just saying.
Nevada caucus goers, please act as citizen journalists and go in live streaming and live tweets so you can watch you instead of MSM. Agreed. Bernie may win Nevada, but the momentum is with Elizabeth Warren. A lot of people voted early before the debate and before the recent Bernie news that is not attractive to many voters. What recent Bernie news? Like, how are you even going to say something like that without context? She just raised 14 million. Really? I thought she raised like 2 million debate day, not no 14 million. That's just a joke. Jason Overstreet is a scrub. Whoever really backs Warren is a half measure, is a really weak kind of person. Alright, well, I'm going to stop goofing around on Twitter. Let's see if the results have updated, people. Let's take a look at that. %, reporting Bernie 55, Joe Biden 20. That puts him at a 35% lead, people. 35% lead. Still shocking that Biden has 20% though, so he's going to get some delegates out of it. I really don't understand how somebody can watch Joe Biden literally have, sundowning on the debate stage, and his argument is always, I know that guy, I did stuff. When they're talking about Lopez Amador on stage, he's like, I'm the only one who met the guy. It's like, how is that relevant, dude? How is that relevant? Yeah, you were vice president, but you know what vice presidents do? Not jack shit. Watch Veep. It was a comedy show, but it might as well have been a goddamn documentary. Like, so this whole idea that, like, Obama told me to get the votes for health care, and Obama told me to do this. Like, what is he trying to call Obama lazy? Like, he didn't do shit? Like, the way he tries to take everything for what was Obama's weak-ass, milquetoast, half-assed legacy, it's just like, are you a fan of him or no? Because it doesn't sound like to me that you are, but whatever. I'm not going to ramble on too much about that. I can't stand the fact that the argument that Joe Biden's making on stage for his own electability, and the fact that apparently 20% of people in Nevada are falling for it. I would love to see the crosstabs in that later. It's like where the demographic breakdown is. Because it's hard for me to imagine people of color still supporting that man. But Republican Nicole Wallace on MSNBC just said Bernie Sanders is the squeaky, angry minority who's ignoring the majority. Well, Nicole Wallace is trash. That's no surprise. I'm really shocked that Status Quo keeps growing and actually hires reporters. Like, it really makes you wonder how he got fired from TYT. Like, yeah, there were accusations and stuff, but why are all these other women working for him? You know, it's not like he's Bloomberg where the money's too good to deny it. Like, I'm sure these people working for a YouTube channel aren't making much. Ooh, case study QB. This guy does some great clips of.
Joining me now is Chuck Rocha. He's a Democratic strategist and the senior advisor to the Sanders campaign. All right, Chuck, before we get to Nevada, I do have to ask you about these recent reports of Russian interference on behalf of the Sanders campaign. What do you think is the campaign's responsibility to push back?
I think what you saw the Sanders say yesterday, he was very forthright. How great would it be to have a president who would look directly in the camera and go, Mr. Putin, you ain't wanted here. We don't want you to have no part of these elections. And when he's president, he'll make sure there's no Russian interference. Strong, bold, out front going, no, you're not welcome in these elections.
We are sitting in Nevada. This is an incredibly important state for your campaign. What's on the line for you today?
Lots are on the line. We have invested a lot of time and money in talking to Latinos who normally aren't talked to. Normally in Democratic elections, black and brown people are just window dressings in campaigns. In this campaign, we've been part of the process to develop the overall operation. So we've been here for 8 months. We've been in the neighborhoods, investing in the community, hiring the community, and today it has to bear fruit.
So what does that look like? Does that mean registering new voters? Does that mean persuading voters who are already on the rolls?
In the last caucus, there were only about 18,000 Latinos that's caucus. There's 100,000 Latinos who voted in the presidential election. So there's a big drop-off there. So we went very intentionally into those neighborhoods to not only talk to drop-off Latino voters, but newly registered. In the last 4 years, 101,000 Latinos have registered to vote in this state alone. That's more than even caucused in 2016.
Can you count anything short of a first-place finish as a win here?
Look, we're going to fight for every ballot. We're going to fight all day long. We're running like we're behind. We're not taking anything for granted because the caucus is very hard. And you see this weather we have today, it's not the most conducive for going out when you have to worry about a babysitter. You know, most of our voters are just working class folks who work in many of these hotels who are just trying to make a living. That's who has to show up.
Gotta love Chuck Rocha, man. That guy, you know, Bernie owes him a lot if he gets the W. He really does. Super important guy to the movement. Every single Spanish speaker I've talked to at my site caucusing for Bernie Sanders. I've seen one Pete supporter and one Elizabeth Warren supporter on this entire scroll through Nevada caucus hashtag. Wow. Bernie Sanders is 78. He just had a heart attack. Won't release his medical records, and now we find out he's being helped by Russia. Jesus Christ. His supporters are Trump-like, and Bernie is a Russian asset. Trending now. Why would we risk voting for a socialist when the GOP will peg him as a commie? This person's retarded. Damn it, I shouldn't be using language like that, but man, that pisses me off. I've got to reply to this. Kelly's over there making food and making me hungry because I smell it.
Do you want one? Because I'm going to make it.
Indeed I do. That would be awesome sauce.
I didn't realize you wanted one, so I left, you know, it out.
It's fine. I'm not complaining. Relax.
You're on live. I didn't want to be like, oh, here's some food.
I can mute the microphone and eat some food while the results come in. If that's what you want people to hear, is us bickering at each other. Hey, I got one viewer. Please, one viewer, say something in the chat while we're here scrolling through the results. Or the hashtags looking for any tomfoolery. I'm going to refresh this, actually, and see. Okay, nothing new really coming in. Yeah, the same story about the observers.
We weren't bickering, it was more like
2% of the vote in. Things have updated a little bit, I think. Yep. Joe Biden just dropped to 19.9%. Bernie Sanders still at 56. You know, if this guy gets a 30-point win, I am going to lose my frickin' marbles. See, that's the problem, is I'm not trying to be on stream for a million years like I was with the New Hampshire results. You know, if it ends up stalling out at like 70%, I'm just going to call it. But, yeah, because at least right now, the way my computer is, it doesn't like when I'm trying to game while streaming. I really want to invest in the memory upgrade. The monitor upgrade I want might have to wait. The camera is probably going to wait because I'm usually not the main focus of the stream. It's usually what I'm doing or what I'm talking about. And yeah, it's just a lot of money. Cameras these days, good God in heaven, it's like at least $400, even if I can find one new, or used, I mean. Yeah, I refreshed it and it's still all the same stories. How did Fox News already call it? I mean, it's not unreasonable to call it, but because how are they going to make up that lead? But it does seem a bit early. Fox News has 4% with Bernie Sanders at 56% and Joe Biden at 20%. Why is there no audio here? Oh, is it? No, still not hearing it. It was just working a minute ago, so it's not all Twitter posts. Everyone else seems to hear it in the comments. What is going on?
We talked about him. It's obvious that he's never been vetted in the press. I've not seen the 4-part series in the New York Times or the Washington Post or NBC News.
Try this one more time. Still nothing? Yeah, some videos just don't want to play with sound.
So we're in a whole... It's obvious these other candidates have not sufficiently talked about him. It's obvious that he's never been vetted in the press. I've not seen the 4...
Okay. James Carville is a madman. Bernie Sanders ran in 2016 against one of the most vile people on the planet, who went so far as to call Obama a Muslim herself in her ads where he was wearing, like, ceremonial dress. So, this whole idea that Bernie Sanders wasn't vetted, you don't think Hillary Clinton did everything in her power that she possibly could to beat Bernie Sanders as he was nipping at her heels the whole goddamn time? Like, get out of here. The dude has been vetted. The only reason that you feel that he hasn't is because he doesn't have a bunch of skeletons in his closet the way everyone else you've ever supported does. Like, Why do people like James Carville still get any respect? At a certain point, if you're wrong so many times, people should stop listening to you. I don't know. It's just weird to me. Let me turn the mic levels down a smidge. Damn, literally everyone is posting a James Carville video.
Card and been talking about here in Nevada, the tie goes to the high card. They just decided that ace is low card and talking about here now. Right now, as we've been talking about here in Nevada, the tie goes to the high card. They just decided that ace is low card and Bernie's. Okay, so Bernie's campaign pulled a 2, and Buttigieg pulled a 3, so it appears as though the tie goes to the high card, and that is Buttigieg. In this case, this is Nevada caucusing live at work here. We're going to go up to the board. They're going to tabulate it here. Right now, as we've been talking about here in Nevada, the tie goes to the high card. They just decided that ace is low card, and
what is the vote count? That is what matters.
Bernie's.
Bernie Sanders is in the lead with all voters over 45 in Nevada right now, according to Sean King. That is huge, because that's not his normal demo. If he's starting to get the old heads, then this shit is a wrap, folks. Like,
Lounge, you said.
Yes.
I can see who you're caucusing for, but
Mr. Bernie, yes.
Mr. Goers, Pedro Armando. You work at a VIP lounge, you said.
Yes.
I can see who you're caucusing for, but
Mr. Bernie, yes.
Mr. Bernie. When did you make that decision?
I always be a Democrat, and I really like the way he's thinking about our people. Mm-hmm. And actually, I got kids. Mm-hmm. They have I want to go to a school, and so I know my position. I can say I make a good money. But for all the people that don't make no money, it's hard to send our kids, to a school or pay the university. But what Mr. Bernie is, talking about, I think is everybody have to look out.
Yeah. Thank you so much, Pedro. So it sounds like education is a big issue for you. Wolf, I'm going to give you a show and tell around the room. Goers, Pedro Armando, you.
Nice. See, that's the real unity between those who aren't doing well with those who are, like class unity between the working class and the poor. That's the kind of unity that I want to fight for, not this bullshit unity between corporate Democrats and real left people. Oh man, my one viewer left. Son of a man. I wonder who it was. They never even said anything in chat and showed me no love. It's fine.
Now something could happen to stop him. Somebody might have some marbles to throw on the stairs or banana peel. They better find it.
Money?
They better find it, because this guy is off and running, and he's done something extraordinary. First of all, and I'm sure we'll hear about it from you, this is a youth quake. You got a new generation stepping up. They're not scared of any of these ideas, and they're tired of hearing Republicans call everything that we say socialist. So they've ruined the word socialist. It doesn't mean anything for the younger people. You've got the Latinos stepping up now in a major way behind Bernie Sanders. He's running as if he's a Latino candidate now. And these ideas are no longer as scary to a whole bunch of Democratic voters. Look, this is extraordinary. I mean, people in the establishment's jaws are hanging off their faces. Nobody.
Okay, be careful, this is hot.
I'm sure it is. But in the future, babe, I know you just made one for yourself and one for me. Try to save those for when I'm at work, because those will be good there, okay?
Promise.
Okie dokes, but, I mean, like I said, I don't mind they're buying another meatball sub while I'm out there anyway, so don't be too hesitant. Just don't go too ham on those because they're easy. Let's see. Another video where I can't hear it. Why is Twitter so freaking broken for me? I should be able to hear this very clearly audio. And Brianna Joy Gray, of all people, shared it, which makes me even more anxious to hear it because she's Bernie's freaking main communication director. God damn it. Why can't these goddamn volunteers do real math? Like, if you can't do math, you shouldn't be volunteering for a motherfucking election. Like, and it's not even like hard math. You don't see any like equations or like, you know, geometry or any of that shit. It's just basic rudimentary math. Oh my god. That being said, some of the text is too small for me to see the context for these numbers, to see where the arrows are, but I mean, we're really getting reports of mathematical screw-ups already.
On the Strip within 2.5 miles of the Bellagio. That these again are people who work on the Strip within 2.5 miles of the Bellagio, largely people of color. Of those, the majority are Latino, and they are clearly, at least from eyeballing it, strongly in favor of Bernie Sanders, with Joe Biden coming in second. That these again.
Is she upset that Bernie is in the lead there, or did she really just talk too much without taking her breath? It's hard for me to read into her intent, but it sounds to me like she personally is irritated with the idea that she might have to pay more taxes so that everyone has health care. What do you mean the tweet is unavailable? What the hell? I've been blocked from performing that action. What is... Never mind. Oh, that's why. I shouldn't have commented and then retweeted. She blocked me. That's funny as shit. Well, I hope Michael Brooks sees it anyway, because she's a joke. Alright, let's look at the results. I'm not seeing any stories from Nevada, really. Let's have a look. Are there any updates, ladies and gentlemen? Hello, one viewer. Welcome back. Say something in the chat. Say hello. Help drive the conversation. 2% reporting. 55% to Biden's 19%. Now, I want to look at the Real Clear Politics poll, the latest poll for this, just because, like, I want to know what they're expecting of Sanders. Okay, so we got RCP average of 32%. And right now he is fucking wrecking that average. So he might way outperform the polls. Again, granted, we're only 2% in here, so can't be certain. I'm gonna mute the microphone for a bit so I can have some food. I'm hungry. Say something in the chat, viewer. Come on, say hello.
Point out that he's trying to buy the election. And now I'm seeing tweets from people saying that, like, there are two sides. One is that when you point out that he's trying to buy the election, how dare you try to divide us based on class? And even I'm seeing the beginnings. Maybe it won't go any farther than this, but the claim that he's trying to buy the election is being portrayed as an anti-Semitic attack by Bernie Sanders supporters. What do you think about that?
I mean, just both absolutely bad faith deflections there. You have to call it out for what it is. Like, there is no way around it. And you alluded to it. We need to see democratic and progressive organizations unify against this whole process, because this isn't just a one-off thing. This is going to be the model for which other billionaires replicate going forward. There is nothing stopping Jeff Bezos from doing the exact same thing in 4 years, or Mark Zuckerberg from doing the exact same thing in 4 years. I don't know about you, and I can assume where your heart is. I don't think you want that system going forward. I don't think your viewers want that system going forward. I sure don't. I don't want a system where billionaires can just buy. We need to see progressive and democratic nonprofits and organizations unite in opposition to what Bloomberg is doing, and send a loud and clear statement to anyone who thinks they can replicate this. We will not stand for it. We will not support you. We will shut this down.
The Democratic moderates want Bernie Sanders.
Out of
of left field.
I'm wondering whether the Democratic moderates want Bernie Sanders to be president. I mean, that's maybe too exciting a question to raise. They don't like Trump at all. Do they want Bernie Sanders to take over the Democratic Party in perpetuity? Well, I mean, he takes it over. He sets the direction for the future of the party. Maybe they'd rather wait 4 years and put in a Democrat that they like.
Out of left field.
I'm wondering whether the Democratic moderates want Bernie Sanders to be president. I mean, that's maybe too exciting a question to raise. They don't like Trump at all.
Liberal whites. I do find it fascinating that racist liberal whites seem to love them some Bernie Sanders consistently and always have a problem with any person of color who doesn't want to follow with the orthodoxy of their Lord and Savior Bernie Sanders. The man cares nothing for intersectionality. And I don't care how many people from the island of misfit black girls that you throw out to defend you on a regular basis. It doesn't mean that your campaign is serious. I do find it fascinating that racist liberal whites seem to love them some Bernie Sanders consistently and always have a problem with any person of color who doesn't want to follow with the orthodoxy of their Lord and Savior Bernie Sanders.
Wow, holy shit, that's the first time I'm hearing that one. That was effing terrible, people. That was bad. Holy crap. That guy needs to lose his job immediately. Like, you can't say something like that as a public figure. That's... wow. Anyway, I'm just going to go ahead and move on.
I hope one day maybe you'll join me in the fight to reform our criminal justice system and actually do something about the problem of over-sentencing blacks and Latinos.
Right.
Yes, I learned that when I was there.
Okay. What's sad is that you hadn't actually learned that when you mattered, when you actually were the governor. You talk about working for the criminal justice reform. There's a lot of people in Chicago, there's a lot of people in Illinois who actually spit up when you say that. Because when you were actually in power and when you were actually governor and you could have helped thousands of people with clemency cases, you blew it off. The governor after you inherited a huge backlog, nearly 3,000 clemency petitions that you failed to review. In fact, you were sued as governor by Cabrini Green Legal Aid to try and pressure you to actually pay attention to clemency cases instead of extorting people for money and campaign contributions. So it's a little ironic and frankly a little sad and pathetic and hypocritical, you talking about you get a commutation of a sentence, which is within the president's right, but you ignored a whole hell of a lot of other people who are hoping you might give them clemency when you actually mattered. So actually, you know what? I'm happy to. There wasn't a question; it was a statement. I'd be happy to work with people on criminal justice reform, but I wouldn't work with you.
Okay, can I answer that statement and question? Okay, I'd like to address that. Look. When you've been put where I was and you have all the time that I was given to think and look back on some of the things you might have done different, that's certainly an area that you talked about that I certainly wish I would have done more on. There's no question about that. That's among my biggest regrets. I didn't know how corrupt the criminal justice system was until it did it to me. And that was a wake-up call. Having said that, I want to say one thing about me as governor. When the cases came to me and I was given files about people who were seeking clemency or pardons, I acted appropriately.
Actually, no, they sat on your desk, and that's why you were sued. I mean, that is
But I did clemencies and I did pardons. I didn't do nearly enough. It wasn't a priority. I would acknowledge that. I didn't go to the office every day doing that. Instead, I was giving health care to all the children, free public transportation to our seniors and the disabled.
Actually, you were
but I regret that very much.
Money to hospitals in order to get campaign contributions. But listen,
but
Governor.
No, see, that's a big lie. They got $8 million from me, and I was sent to prison for things that aren't crimes.
They got it after you had left.
I promised it. I ordered it before that happened, and it didn't. They got it while I was governor. That is not factual.
Okay. Governor Blagojevich, I do wish you the best. I'm glad for your family that you're out, and
I don't know. By the way you were asking me questions, I'm sorry. Honestly, I appreciate you having me on.
But just honestly, yes. I have no problem with you getting out. I think the president can commute whoever he wants. I just think I wish you're besmirching prosecutors who actually who are no longer in government, but prosecutors are important in our system, and you are going after the very basis of our justice system, which has plenty of problems. But part of the thing is you got out. You do have an obligation to at least admit what you did wrong and you refuse to do that, and you're creating a whole new alternate universe of facts. And that may be big in politics today, but it's still, frankly, just bullshit. We got to leave it there.
Well,
Thank
no,
you,
it's
Governor.
not bullshit. I lived it myself. It's not bullshit at all.
Thank you.
All right, so I'm not a huge Anderson Cooper fan. You know, he's a Vanderbilt family member, you know, and a big establishment supporter, but he just owned that guy. Jesus. Like, Rod Blagojevich deserves it, but damn. That's more fight in him than I've ever seen at this point. That's actually a good question. Sean King asked here, can Tom Perez be fired? I'm being serious, how can he be fired? Voters in Nevada telling me that they are literally at polling sites right now that could not open because no volunteers showed up. Unthinkable he allowed this foolishness to happen. Now, they didn't show up because they refused, I think, to sign the non-disclosure agreement. They knew they were up for some bullshit. But are there really locations that can't open? Like, I hope that the voters who are there are organizing to get these people to the nearest open polling site, because I don't want turnout to be down because of the fact that a couple of sites are closed. I swear Tom Perez makes it look like he's fucking this stuff up on purpose. I'm actually down for that. I do think that this is intentional on his part. I don't understand what the response from Sahil is supposed to mean. There must be a reference to something that I don't get. That looks like an extremely burned pizza. Pretty gross. Anyway. Deliberate. Yeah, I don't feel like reading replies to that. It's just going to be people co-signing. Beth, the purity test enthusiast, is another person that I recommend people follow. She has some good tweets and is pretty sharp. Same thing with Justin Jackson. He's a football player for the LA Chargers. That's a big Bernie supporter, and he's a good dude. If your rich ass is undecided, that's your problem. Bernie Sanders saying he's not going to be stopped by lies in the right wing is not something to be supportive of. And I'm like, at this point, the only reason I'm still following Movie Bob on Twitter is just to know, you know, what the liberal wine mom circuit is talking about these days. Because that dude, I would genuinely love to have a political debate with him, because he seems to engage enough with this stuff, but, like, does he understand at all what's really going on? Because he just seems to be, you know, the pearl-clutching tone police type, and, you know, the same white wealthy liberal, but for Ava DuVernay as a black person to have that same viewpoint, like, Let's see what the comments are, because I'm hoping she's getting trashed for this. He does unite Democrats and independents. That is what Bernie Sanders does. And even Republicans, for that matter. Like, Bernie Sanders unites people because he has an agenda that works for everyone. But whatever, Lauren, Kathleen. Let's see what Kathleen says. Okay. The mere fact that his supporters are taking your tweet as some sort of personal insult just goes to show them exactly how twisted he and his group are. First of all, he is not responsible for anything that anyone on Twitter says. Why is anyone held to that standard? That's fucking stupid. I can't stand that he's the only one held to that standard. He can't control other people. And I bet you the people that are dissing this woman for her bullshit aren't taking it as a personal attack. They're probably just correcting her and saying your understanding of what he said is wrong, and you have no idea what's actually going on in real communities of working class people since you started doing your Hollywood champagne circuit. How do people believe this to be true? Ava, in saying, I've always drawn strength and inspiration from you because you speak with deep knowledge of history and insight on how it shapes our present. Pass? I've never seen anything from her to suggest that. Like, this guy is a super stan. Yeah, this Elizabeth Warren supporter is 100% wrong. She's the real deal, not perfect by any means. Wow, that's a good way to excuse her for all the racist crap she's ever done, is a former Republican and claiming Native heritage she never actually had. But she's pretty damn close. Like, saying that she's damn close to perfect is fucking delusional. And she's the only candidate who continually references systemic institutional racism? Nope. Bernie Sanders has said it at every motherfucking stump speech. Anytime there's a microphone in front of him, he brings that shit up. So, like, I genuinely don't understand why these people put themselves in a bubble and become so deluded about what goes on outside of it. Yeah, this guy is trying to recontextualize Bernie's comment for her so that she understands what he actually said. But no, that's considered a personal attack. Watch, a whole bunch of people are going to get shitty with him. Yep, a whole lot of nonsense from the repliers. No, it doesn't. I get frustrated with progressives who say they're against the Democratic establishment because it includes a lot of black, brown, and queer people. No, it doesn't. No, it doesn't. It includes maybe 10 of them out of, like, the entire fucking group. And a lot of those people are already in the progressive caucus. So these people who believe they know what us progressives mean when we say Democratic establishment are fucking wrong. Like, also, Guess what doesn't matter at all when it comes to public policy? Identity. At all. I don't care if you're black, brown, or queer. If you're Pete Buttigieg and all you want to do is lick boots and protect the pharmaceutical companies, you can fuck right off. Period. Like, I do not care who you fuck or what you look like. Back the right policies, support the least among us, bring us to the standard of the first world. Like, it's really that simple. I'm tired of living in a third world country that thinks it's fucking great. Oh man, these liberal people get on my nerves. See, like, maybe I should just do streams of me reading dumbass, Warren liberals on Twitter, because that, you just watch me get angry all day. How about that? I shouldn't be fucking around on Twitter anymore. There's got to be updates with the votes at this point, guys. Let's have a look at that. 3% reporting. 3%. Biden has dropped significantly. He's now at 17%. To Elizabeth 9, and Pete Buttigieg is 9. Elizabeth Warren's almost at 10 to be. She's got 9.7. You see how I did that? I skipped Bernie Sanders like all the rest of the media does. Bernie Sanders at 54%, with the person in second place just shy of 18%. That is a huge delta. Huge. Let's see him make that up. If this man wins Nevada by 60%, this race is over. This race is over. If he takes this into South Carolina, where electability is what matters most to them, that's it. It's a wrap. South Carolina goes in favor of Bernie, and then Super Tuesday, baby, where he's got all the support in the world in California and Texas. He's got Chuck Rocha bringing the Latinos to the fore. Let's do this. Oh my God, I'm getting too hyped for 3%, but like, I'm just so glad I don't see Pete Buttigieg creeping up behind Bernie like he did in the last two super white states. Like, I'm really hyped. 2 viewers, people say something in the chat, engage, help drive the conversation. I'm going to check back with the results in a second. Until then, let's rage at more liberal Twitter. More Elizabeth Warren, folks. Warren. More Warren. Like, yeah, I don't know. What bubble do these people put themselves in? Elizabeth Warren has no path to the nomination. She has no money. Yeah, she raised a little bit after the debate, but at her burn rate, that'll be gone by next week. She's done. Bob, that's not his point. He wasn't trying to say that Trump is woke. He's saying that nickname, shitty as it may be, didn't come from nothing. see how he likes that. Yeah, I really, we shouldn't have to explain this to him like that. Like, I know he's smarter than that. He's just so in the tank for this woman that, like, anybody who points out the constant lies that Warren tells, suddenly they're pro-Trump. Like, and then people in the comments saying that the guy who wrote this very crude tweet is a Bernie bro, as a pejorative, like, just because we're factually correct, and like we have the gall to point you out on it. Whatever. People are. Like, you really have your ego so wrapped up in being right and supporting Elizabeth Warren that if somebody points out to you that she's been a career liar and someone who's misappropriated, you know, her own race to her own advantage, both in a career politically and in law school, and, you know, contributing to books like Powwow Chow and shit, like, really? You're gonna, because someone's willing to show you that, somehow that means he's a Trump supporter, even though the hashtag only Bernie is in his frickin' Twitter handle? Like, these people. Here's this video again. Can I hear it from this person? Nope. Still can't hear it. Very strange. I guess that's Kyle Kanolsky celebrating what's going on so far. Yeah, I'm not seeing anything. Oh, look. A tweet from Megan Day. She went to one of the caucus locations by MGM, and Bernie won the second alignment there with 91 people, 18 delegates from that precinct. Good. Good, good, good. Oh man, am I missing a UFC fight right now? It would be cool to catch a UFC fight. I haven't watched any UFC in ages. I had 3 viewers, it's now dropped down to 2. Come on guys, say something. Join the fun. In between the first and second alignment at the Wynn County caucus site, supporters of each viable candidate, Sanders, Steiner, Biden, were able to give a quick pitch to the remaining supporters and the non-viable candidates. This was the pro-Sanders speech. I really want to hear what people are saying on his behalf out there, so let's check it out.
So, this is why I feel that we should vote for Bernie Sanders. It's not just about beating Donald Trump. It's also about changing our future for our children. If we vote for Bernie Sanders, he's going to help us. He has the power to do so. I know he's older, but you know what? He has a big heart. And he's going to help us out. And I know my child, all of our children will be in a better place if we vote for Bernie Sanders. So come on! Bernie Sanders!
Come on, she clearly hasn't seen enough of his speeches. It was a great speech, but like, she gave no details. She just said the world will be a better place for our children. Which is true, but like, you could have done better. How long did they say? Yeah, I guess like 10, 15 seconds. I like how Bernie people keep trying to tag the tweets of others who are straight up wrong, and the tweets end up being deleted or blocked or whatever, like constantly. Because these people are so wrong they can't tolerate being exposed for it. Political polls. Who are you voting for in the Democratic primary? Retweet after voting. Bernie Sanders, killing it in the polls. Boy, let's go. I'll retweet that. Like, why is he... I really can't stand Harry Potter fans. Read another book, for God's sake. It's the only thing that they do is they write and read Harry Potter all day long. Why again can I not hear this? Oh boy. That's so lame. To make that presumption about intent is bullcrap. That can be right of either gender. Gender does not imbue anyone with morality or anything like that. Had an exam in uni today. The English test was about... First off, how is this an English test? Anyway, English test was about should we have more women in politics based on an article saying women were running to do something while men ran to be something, like for themselves. So it's again, that's a load of crap. Absolute load of crap. There are plenty of women in politics. Not enough, I would argue, but there are plenty of women who are in politics who are just as self-centered and self-serving as all the males in Congress and in office. I mean, Baltimore's Mayor Pugh, just got arrested for self-dealing and making millions through her position. So I didn't see her female identity making her an angel. You know, Nancy Pelosi's a piece of crap. She's a woman. fucking liberals drive me nuts. And I know for a fact that the woman who made the tweet that person is replying to is a Bernie-crat. So, like, I hope that she knows better. Let's have a look at the results. I haven't seen the results in a while. Let's see what we're up to. Still 3% reporting, 54 to 18. Oh, guys, I might have to fire up a game or something because these results are not rolling in at the speed that I would have liked. I feel like this is going to be another Iowa moment where, you know, we're not going to get full results for friggin' days. I don't like that they do. I mean, it's a good thing they do it on a Saturday because of workers' general availability to do this stuff, but it also means that, you know, most of the lefty news outlets that I follow aren't covering this as thoroughly because they don't do weekend work. I think they should have made an exception for this, but another freaking video has been tweeted that I can't even hear. But at least Crystal Ball quoted it, so I get the point anyway. Does anybody on YouTube say anything? Let's see what Hassan is saying for a second. Oh no, wait, this was the debate coverage. I forgot he only goes live on Twitch. I don't go live on Twitch. If I build the necessary dedicated streaming PC that I want to build, I might do multi-streaming in the future, just to see if it could help me grow some, because my YouTube channel is slow to get off the ground, to say the least. And I can do it even less now that they got Android onto the Nintendo Switch. Android kind of sucks as a platform. I'd prefer Linux or Windows, but I'll take that. Three people were killed and 18 injured after a bus rolled over onto Interstate 15 near Fallbrook, California, in San Diego. That sucks. Wow, because Bernie Sanders is leading, they have to play his speeches.
People are entitled to basic human rights. That if you work 40 hours a week in America, you should not earn starvation wages. I have talked to too many people in Texas and all over this country. Yeah, they got a job, but they got a job that is paying them a wage which is unlivable. And that is why we're going to raise the minimum wage in this country to at least $15 an hour. And that is why we believe that it is absurd that women in America make 80 cents on the dollar compared to men, and minority women, Latino, African American women, make even less. And that is why we are going to establish equal pay for equal work. That is why when millions of workers all across this country want to join a union, because they understand that when you're in a union, you can negotiate decent wages and decent benefits. Thank you, National Nurses Union. We're going to make it easier for workers to get into unions, get decent wages, and decent benefits. All exactly what it is. It is cruel and inhumane. So today we say to the drug companies and the insurance companies who made $100 billion in profits last year, we say to them that the function of a humane healthcare system is to guarantee healthcare to all, not to make the drug companies and the insurance companies rich. Humane, that's exactly what it is.
MSNBC playing Bernie's speeches, ladies and gentlemen. Hopefully that helps them some. Their crowd usually isn't in for it. Who's Rob House? I've never heard of this dude. He gets to interview Nomiki. Like, I'm jelly. I would like to interview Nomiki and talk to her about disability issues, because that's what I want to be my niche. I'm not bringing up disability today just because it's more about the Nevada caucuses and stuff, and I don't know, I kind of get tired of talking about my affliction all the time, but you know, it's important that people who do have platforms remember that we exist out here. We may not get out of the house much, but we do exist. I didn't know that. AMC automated most of their projectors, so they don't have projectionists anymore. That sucks. That was always one of the jobs that I would have liked to have done. You know, because I like watching movies, and that's a chill job for somebody who's disabled. Just being a projectionist and sitting up there and watching movies, I'm sure at a certain point, if you've seen the same movie over and over again, it would drive you a bit crazy, but at least I'd be able to listen to my music and crap. Kai Newkirk. Looks like Bernie will not only win Nevada as a whole, but the Culinary Union caucuses on the Strip. This is huge. So they came out and supported him in spite of the leadership, as I said earlier in the stream. Just more reports of that. The CNN commentator just noted that if Bernie Sanders wins with 35% of the vote, that still means 65% picks someone else. Truly brilliant, inspired thinking from the most trusted name in news. In 2008, Barack Obama won 37% of the Iowa caucus. Did that mean 63% of the Democratic voters wouldn't vote for him? I don't remember that being the final result. Nice job, Zaid Jalani. That was a decent point. See, like, I was paying attention to politics only loosely back then. And I'm not nerdy enough to remember that historical context. So I wouldn't even have thought to look something like that up to put it in perspective that way. That's where some people's creativity and their intelligence is truly, inspiring to me. In precinct 2572, here in Nevada, Bernie Sanders received 52 of the 74 votes. Nice. Yeah, I don't know. I haven't watched the UFC in too long, but I think it just got to the point where too many of the fights ended in decision. And, like, not to say that fights aren't, legitimate if they don't end in a finish, but as far as the viewer is concerned, it is kind of boring to leave it to the judges 80% of the time.
Thank you.
He might win Texas, folks.
Thank you, El Paso.
Bernie Sanders wins Texas on Super Tuesday.
And let me
and California,
introduce you to the next First Lady of the United States, Jane Sanders. Whoa, there are a lot of...
I scrolled down like 2 inches and they stopped playing the video. Like, how
And
annoying
there
is
are a
that?
lot of people outside who couldn't get inside. So thank you all very much for coming. Let me thank Sparta for their music. Let me thank David Stout for his remarks. Let me thank Samia Diatzlan for her remarks, Alexandra Anelio, Marissa Marquez, and let me thank Jim Hightower, a friend of 30 years. Jim, thank you for all that you do. When I look out at an audience like this, and I see the diversity and the beauty in this audience, and let me tell you, you do look beautiful from here. And when I look out at this audience, I have absolute confidence that we can create a government that is based on compassion, is based on love, is based on truth, not what we have now of greed, corruption, and lies.
So it's just crazy that the polls closed, 2 hours ago, and we only have 3% reporting. And yet I haven't seen anything on Twitter or in the news to explain why so little results are coming in. I've been on stream for 2 hours now, and it's the vote totals have barely moved. It's friggin' bananas. Like, get this shit done, people. God damn.
But they're not showing the results yet?
Only 3% so far in all that time. I might end the stream soon, you guys, just to, like, go have some fun and enjoy my day off. I really expected things to pop off a little faster than this. Like, I know that, Fox News called it already, and they said they had 4%. Let me check some other sources and see what's up, because somebody's got to have the actual results coming in. I don't know why. Who's Google pulling from exactly? The AP or what? 'Cause let's look at what NPR says. The channel for whispers. They have 3%. Okay. Let's try. The New York Times. They have 3%. Same deal. This is crazy. What's the holdup? For real. Like, wow, I didn't know that. Before 2020, no presidential candidate in history had ever won the popular vote in Iowa, New Hampshire, and Nevada. Let's make it a clean sweep with 4 and make history. That way they can't deny it. Still though, I'm going to ask the people if they know anything about why the results are coming in so slow. .51% of Hispanics supporting Bernie Sanders in the MSNBC entrance poll. If he can maintain or improve on that kind of percentage in California and Texas, like I said, this is a fucking wrap. They need to pay Chuck Rocha more money. That guy's bringing home the fucking bacon for their campaign right now.
Hispanic voters, again, probably about a fifth of this electorate, a major test here. The Sanders campaign said they thought they had a big advantage with Hispanic voters. Check out what our entrance poll is showing us the Sanders campaign might have been onto something there. 51% in our entrance poll, an outright majority in this crowded field of Hispanic voters in our entrance poll backing Bernie Sanders. Again, only 2 other candidates barely registering in double digits here. Biden, Buttigieg, you got Steyer at 9%, Warren at 7%. Again, when I say the entrance poll, I stress this is the early vote. You know, we think maybe 60% or so, we'll find out, of the total vote will be early vote. We'll see if there are major changes to this on Election Day. But our first test of a diverse electorate, that's what we're seeing in the entrance polling. Hispanic.
Bernie Sanders is killing it. Why can't I hear half the videos that people post on Twitter? It's so annoying.
Guy too. I'm reading last night about that. Brian, I know you're a history guy too. I'm reading last night about the fall of France in the summer of 1940, and the general Renault calls up Churchill and says, "It's over." And Churchill said, "How can it be? You got the greatest army in Europe. How can it be over?" He said, "It's over." So I had that suppressed feeling. I can't be as wild as Carville, but he is damn smart, and I think he's damn right on this one. Brian, I know you're a history guy too. I'm reading.
Chris Matthews has worms in his brain. Jesus Christ. Oh God, this guy.
You know,
Joel Thomas is like possibly the worst bread tuber. His microphone setup sucks. He's always tapping his pen or clicking it while he's talking in the stream in a way that the mic picks it up. He takes like 20 million years to say something that could have taken him 30 seconds. Every video he has is like a half an hour or longer. Yeah. The dude is... Also, he's a huge Tulsi stan, if I remember correctly. I'm sorry, but if you really think that Tulsi should still be running at this point right now, you're crazy. That's awesome. I didn't know that somebody made a flashlight that does Bernie's symbol or Nino's for that matter. I want one of these. That'd be pretty boss. I'll reply to that. Screw it. I like free stuff. I'm a Bernie supporter, so why not? I got a cool Bernie shirt from a guy for free. I allowed him to use my picture to promote it on Facebook and whatnot. It's the Wu-Tang symbol like this one, but instead of Wu-Tang written through the center, it's Sanders, and they changed the head of the bird to Bernie Sanders' hairdo or whatever. It's in my closet somewhere. I'm not wearing it for this stream, although I should be, I know. I keep forgetting for when I go live. Come on. Joanne Reed is a cancer. I really don't understand why people still listen to her. She still has a job on that network. She has said and done so much ridiculous, stupid, weirdy crap, to quote her. That, like, the fact that she still maintains any credibility at all with anyone is amazing. Her frickin' body language expert video on Bernie Sanders was amazing. Like, it shouldn't even meet the standards of public access television, let alone a 24-hour cable news network. Y'all really need to check that out if you haven't seen it. At Mojave High School, Bernie volunteers are being told we can't talk to anyone or bring in water, and are being threatened with law enforcement. Precincts are not properly labeled, so voters do not know where to go, while we are restricted from helping them figure it out. Oh my God. Nice. It was tagged with Nina Turner, and she replied to send it to their people so that they can mobilize and get it done. Nice. How long ago was that? 20 minutes? She responded within 2 minutes. God damn. They must be watching this shit close. That's kind of amazing, right? That you can get a reply that quickly. Because I'm sure she's being inundated with a bunch of irrelevant shit. Like, this dude didn't even tag it with the necessary stuff related to the Nevada caucus. God damn, it's cold in here. Oof. I need to stretch my muscles. I'm in some serious pain after a full day, a full week of real work for the longest in a while. Again, I can't hear the goddamn video for no reason. That was so annoying. Yeah, that would be interesting. Why hasn't Cenk said anything? I'm following the guy, right? I thought so. Let's scroll back up here. Wow. Jennifer Rubin literally is stating that she would rather Bloomberg win than Bernie, or everyone else should step out so that Biden can win. Like, as if he has a real minority support. No, he'll be exposed. He's done. If he did, his numbers would be way better than they are. Here in Nevada, it would at least be close between him and Bernie. You know, I'm spelling Cenk's name wrong. So, yeah, it says I'm following Cenk. Has he really not said anything today? some hearts in real quick. Yeah, he's mostly talking about his own election and stuff. He's got to say something about Nevada shit, man. What about Anna? Did I say anything? I know I'm following her. Yep. Like, I get it. They're off work, but it's the Nevada fucking caucuses right now. Michael Brooks is awesome. Yeah, nothing from Anna really. It just seems weird. Like, I get that they take their time off and stuff, but it's the goddamn Nevada primary, people. Like, you're news commentators, you're not really allowed to say nothing. Hello, one viewer. Say something in the chat, please engage. And if you are and it's not working, I'm sorry. 'Cause Streamlabs OBS should be giving me a live feed of what people say in chat, if anything at all. So, I had one guy engage in the last video I did on New Hampshire's primary night, and it was really awesome. We had a political discussion, and, like, given that there are so few viewers right now, it's not this, you know, random, non-stop flood of messages like it is with a lot of other streamers. And, like, that's part of the reason why I don't go on Twitch, because it seems like Twitch viewers don't do literally anything but shit post a bunch of emojis and stuff, like, and fill the chat with nonsense. So, like, I don't really want my chat to be nothing but Pepe the Frog or whatever stupid other emojis they come up with over there. If that makes me a hater, then fine, I'm a hater, I guess.
We get so caught up in the moderate versus progressives that we forget that people are rationing insulin right now, that 60% of Americans can't afford an $800 emergency bill, and that, you know, despite those ideological differences, we had 62% of people say that they want a government-run healthcare system.
In Nevada.
In Nevada. And I think that that has been the trend that we've been seeing in white states, and now we're seeing it in diverse states. And so I would make sure that all of our politicians are centering the poor and working people that are the core of our Democratic Party, and that diverse base that really is the next generation of Democratic voters. Those young Latinos are going to represent a growing bloc that's going to match for boomers.
To your point, you know, union leadership in Nevada might not endorse somebody. They have concerns about the union benefits, but the actual rank and file might have a very different perspective of,
they're voting for their sister,
right,
their brother,
or
their
even
mother.
if they lose their union job, if
That's
where
what
they're working
saying.
closes.
In these entrance polls, they're saying, sure, my union says this, and I have good health care now, but if I lose this job, I won't. And that has been Bernie Sanders' core argument the whole time. No, you might like your insurance at the moment, but nobody likes their insurance. They like their doctor. But you might like your situation at the moment, but we don't have any healthcare security in this country, and it seems like that's going to be the defining issue of this election.
Nice job, healthcare security. That's the perfect way to look at it. Yeah. Wow, Klobuchar is stuck at 7%. Steyer's only at 3%? Man, he's got to stop. He's been spending way too much money to only get 3% at this point. He's got to drop out tonight. Steyer and honestly Klobuchar too. This bitch, I'm so tired of hearing her on the debate stage talking about I got the best voter turnout. Yeah, nobody cares. And if I have to hear that snow woman joke from her one more time. Holy crap.
Are those apologies enough? At this point, what can he do to make it up to the community?
He could drop out of the race. And the reason is because as you listen to the audio, what makes it so significant is that you can hear his conviction. You can hear that this is a methodical, well thought out process. This is his deeply held worldview. And the best way to think of it is if his worldview with regard to stop and frisk is an ocean, his apology to date has been nothing more than a glass of water. It's woefully insufficient and is extremely opportunistic for the chances of him becoming the president of the United States.
I want to turn this back to this debate and your analysis from The Guardian, where you wrote, up until the debate, that Bloomberg was, quote, an existential threat to our democracy because of his ability to purchase everything from talent to silence. Why did that change for you after watching him at the debate?
Well, because we saw the image that he made of himself. $500 million can make you look powerful. It can make you look almost omnipotent. And then when he got on stage, has nothing to do with his physical stature. It has everything to do with his presence and his lack of presence. Money can't buy character. Money can't buy integrity. And you can see money can't buy preparation. So I don't feel like he is as much of a threat, but keep in mind he can drop another $500 million on this to convince everyone that what we saw the performance of an inept oligarch. He can use $500 million to convince us otherwise.
You know, many people think, was it a mistake for him to participate in the debate rather than just kind of going on, controlling the message through advertising? What's your take about his performance so far and his approach to this race?
Yeah. See, that's the part that disturbs me the most, the fact that he has been able to circumvent the normal democratic process. The thing that a lot of people point to in the audio is the racism, the audio that we unearthed as a racism. What bothers me the most about the audio is his governing philosophy. When he sees a problem, he sends in the troops. He uses the force of government to suppress something that he sees as a problem. It's analogous to what he tried to do with the sugar tax. He wanted to, and we have video of that showing that he wanted to use a tax to control the behavior of poor people. And so to me, something that has to be interrogated by the American people and not something that he can.
Wow, it just ends kind of in the middle of the sentence there. That's weird. Big oof. Bloomberg's net favorability fell by 30 points after the debate. Good. He's way less of a threat than he was before. I like how Peter Dow's monetizing the switch from Hillary to Sanders. Like, I try to think that he's genuine and that he sees things clearly now and that he was just indoctrinated into the Hillary camp, but I get this feeling that it's just an opportunist. He's not so deluded that he can read the tea leaves and he knows where future power is going to be. So, like, I think he's trying to hold out some, like, chance that he parlays this into a job in the administration or something. Or maybe because he was former Hillary people and has connections in the traditional power structure, he's trying to be like the guy that network news hires after Bernie wins as the guy in their circles that got it right. You know what I mean? Like, Peter Dow is still so sketchy to me. I can't get over it. I can't hear the frickin' video. What? Why?
Bernie.
I can hear that one. I've got to try to Google this, folks, to figure out why this doesn't work right. My typing sucks right now. Well, it's always sucked, but it's particularly bad today. If you're using Chrome, go into settings and undo muted, maybe. Same thing happened to me. Ignore the jokes online looking for attention. See, it's just people being fucking smart ass. I tried to look into that, people. It's not important. When did he write this? Back in 2018. Bernie will get more than 12% once the field shapes up. Likely single digits. Too many good progressives will run. Too few Bernie dead enders left. Wow, Marcos. That's it. Delete your account, bro. Oh my god, that's hilarious. If you live in Alabama, Arkansas, Arizona, Colorado, Florida, Georgia, Idaho, Illinois, Maine, what's ME? What does ME stand for in the States? Come on, I should know this. I'm usually pretty good at this kind of crap. Maine. God damn it. That Massachusetts, Maine, Minnesota, Michigan, Missouri. Why do we have so many M states? Jesus. North Dakota, Ohio, Oklahoma, Tennessee, Texas, Utah, Virginia, Vermont, and Washington. Please knock doors for Bernie. Those are all Super Tuesday states. We need to start gearing up to knock Super Tuesday the F out of the park. At Cashman Middle School, off the Strip, Spanish-speaking Latino voters were asked why they supported Bernie. And they said, honestly, he's the only one we see on TV and in Spanish ads. I don't love that as the reason. Like, oh, because he bought TV ads? Like, is that really all you're out there for? I mean, I get that it says that, like, he's the only one that cares about you, but still, it kind of lends credence to the argument that, you know, that's still the way to get voters, is to buy a bunch of expensive TV ads and therefore raising money from rich people. I don't know how much of that sentence was actually caught on mic, because I keep leaning back away from the mic to relax a little bit in the chair, because sitting upright for the microphone for so long can get a little bit exhausting, people. After 2.5 friggin' hours, the things I suffer for you folks when there's only one person watching. And I'll be honest with you, it's probably Kelly over there watching me. Just make me feel better. Oh yeah. So there is somebody in the chat. Thank you. Emmy is Maine. Yeah, I figured that out. Sorry, the text field over there with the live chat is quite small. Welcome. Okay, so if it's still at 3% reporting, I might just call it, because I do not feel like waiting all day on stream for these results to drip in this slow. Oh my God, how can it still only be at 3%? Alright, someone's got to be fucking with the numbers out here. Like, they gotta come in faster than this, guys. This is ridiculous. Let's do some computer window shopping, shall we? Maybe we'll spend a little bit of the stream doing other things that I love to do. I had a tab open for computer memory. There you go. Let me see if I can't find out what the RAM speed of my current setup is. Why am I tripping? Device manager, there you go. I should know faster than that. I'm a goddamn professional computer technician now. Why are the network adapters expanded? I had a 4 terabyte storage device die on me last week. I'm very bummed about that still. Is there a way that I could pull up my... You know what? Do I have hardware info on here? If I don't, I should. Yeah, hold on, let me... Yeah. Hardware monitor, that's the app I have. I don't really want to update it. Can I just run the version I have? What difference does it make? Oh wait, I'm tripping. Clicked the wrong thing. Alrighty. I don't really feel like I should have to update it, but whatevs. And that's done because my Chrome is stupid. I still gotta troubleshoot that, but I really just don't feel like, because I troubleshoot computers all day at work, when I got little problems with this machine, I just ignore it. I don't feel like doing my job at home at all. Yeah, just override it. I don't need to read the README for hardware info. Thank you very much. I don't do Windows updates as frequently as I should. I know as a computer nerd, I should acknowledge the security issues with that, but it's like, I don't have all the... Oh, Oh God, I just put my address on the stream briefly. Yikes. Oh well. Nobody really cares. Yeah. Yeah, I know Fox News called it for Bernie with 4%, but like, we know Bernie's gonna win. That's decided even now. But I want to know by how much. Is he gonna beat the margin that he has in his RCP average? With because his RCP average in Nevada is 32%. I want to know if he outperforms the polls, because up to this point, he hasn't really been doing that in the uber white states of Iowa and New Hampshire. I want to see if he outperforms the polls in these more racially represented states, so that we can get a better picture of what something like South Carolina is going to look like, or the Super Tuesday states for that matter. If this whole theory of change, of bringing new voters into the system, is going to work, that's going to require him outdoing the polls. You know what I mean? So that's where it makes a huge difference for me. That's why I keep checking in, even though Fox has already called it. Thank you for the engagement, though. That's, like I said, important to me and important to the stream. If you like what you see, please like and subscribe. Eventually, as things, as my subscriber count climbs and more people actually view and stuff, these streams can be a bit more fun, both because I'll have more resources for them, and also because I can engage with my audience more. In my video link description thingamajig, I should have a TYT affiliate link. If you're not a TYT member and you'd like to be, go ahead and click the affiliate link, and you can get more news content, and I can get a little bit of money thanks to your membership. That's the way I'm doing things now, as opposed to begging on Patreon, because I'm not doing this full time yet, so I can't promise any member benefits quite yet. It's just the way the cookie crumbles at this stage. What was I doing before I got distracted? Oh yeah, hardware monitor. 'Cause I'm trying to find out what the dealio with my RAM is, because I want to upgrade from 16 gigabytes RAM to 32, and I want to kind of price that out a little bit. See if it'll open this time. If it tells me it needs another upgrade, I'm a spaz. Alright. Hardware monitor. Not responding. Fantastic. There we go. Let's see. RAM. Let's check out the RAM. Voltages on the CPU. Clocks. Utilization. The SSDs. The video card. Nothing on the RAM? That's a bit strange. I'm gonna get hardware info. That's more of what I'm looking for anyway. I don't need like land sweeper and all that other crap. Get out of here. There we go. Yeah, because I'm trying to make some upgrades to my computer here, so in order to do that and have compatibility, I need to make sure that my RAM match clock speeds. And I don't want to have to like open my PC and look inside to determine the RAM information. I would like to just stop telling me about Windows updates, you bastard. Run hardware info. Sincerest gratitude to every single person who volunteered, made calls, texted, knocked doors, and spoke to friends, spoke to strangers, and put their hearts in this movement. I'm moved. I'm humbled. Bernie Sanders, caucus supporter, April from Las Vegas, gives the most passionate, emotional, truthful realignment speech I've ever witnessed. So let's see it. Why can I still not hear this video? Half the videos on Twitter have no sound for me, and it's infuriating. They're not going to put this on any other social media. I'm not going to be able to see this thing that's supposed to be so humbling. Like, I want to have this content, but it doesn't work.
It's probably because you're wearing the headphones.
I know how the sound is hooked up, babe. If it was that, then... Alright, so I'll switch it to my speakers and see if it plays, just to test your theory. And if you're right, I'll kick my own ass. But I seriously doubt it.
Okay.
You just want to see me like slack-jawed when I...
Yeah, I do. I want to see if I'm right about this.
God damn it. God damn it. So it goes through my speakers for no reason, but it won't go through my goddamn sound mixer? Alright, let's see what she says. There you go. Nice job. I do gotta find out why that's not going through my sound mixer properly sometimes, though. It doesn't make sense that some do and some don't. That's some real buggy shit, Twitter. Jeez. Kelly was right, though. Credit to her. She totally owned me on that one. Let's see. What else we got? Alright, I was on to my RAM speed. God damn, my hands are cold right now. I have some serious carpal tunnel problems. It's very frustrating. Wireless motherboard memory. There we go. 16 gigabytes. Clocked at 1100. Well, I don't need what it's clocked at right this moment. What is the standard? Can I get like the make and model of the RAM, more details on that specifically? Because like how it's performing isn't quite what I'm after. Yeah, see, maximum supported memory clock. 1197.5, but nothing is built to that standard. It's not uniform the way that... I guess that just means 1200? I don't know, let's look at some RAM, folks, because I want to buy some new RAM. That's the biggest thing that's getting on my nerves of this machine right now, is it gets RAM choked when I'm trying to stream Endgame off of the same machine, and I don't feel like building a whole new PC just for the dedicated streaming. Plus, in order to do it properly, I would need a 4K capture card, which is an expensive component. I mean, it gets less expensive every day, but still pretty goddamn pricey, and I'm not trying to hit the bank that hard. Because again, my first paycheck hasn't even come in yet, so... Those are not even, yeah, that's, I need DDR4 only, first of all. DDR4, 32, what the hell, like, yeah, I think I really just have to pull the RAM from my PC to see what the timing is. And that's really annoying that I have to go through all that trouble to identify it. Because I have a strap on my PC that makes Big Bertha easier to move, so I have to undo that, then open the side of the case, then take out the RAM stick, identify it, and put it back in. Like, there's got to be a way I can... Do I have CPU-Z? I think I do. Yeah, I do. Let me just run that and see if that reports anything different. Because I want to get more RAM. I want to buy more RAM, people. I don't want to update. I shouldn't have to. God, everything's written so small on my 4K monitor. Memory DDR4 dual. Nothing's built to that standard though. What are they talking about? What they have to mean is 1200. Can I filter to that RAM speed then? See, this is why I do my shopping on Newegg for computer stuff, is the filters on Amazon for tech is not sufficient. Like, they need to improve this. It's not that hard. Why do you sound like a sad puppy over there? Am I hearing you wrong?
No, because we're so adorable. But they're all adopted. God damn it. And they were brothers, sisters. Like, come on. I'm sad. To wait a whole week.
The lowest DDR4 standard is 2,133. So why is my RAM being downclocked all the way to 1,200? Like, what is going on right now? Do I need to fire up my BIOS? Jesus. God damn it. I'm gonna end up having to open my PC to do this, and that is extremely frustrating to me. It's not really gonna affect the price, I guess, but my only thinking now is, do I want to spend basically $100 on a RAM upgrade? Yeah, I do. Honestly, I do want to spend $1,000 on a RAM, or $100 on a RAM upgrade. Jesus, I said 1,000. Yeah, I ain't got bread like that. Not for computers anyway. I just don't get why this Crucial RAM is considered desktop memory. It's not. It's so dim. See, this is what I'm talking about. Amazon should not sell tech. They don't categorize stuff properly. I swear, half the people that are going to be calling my frickin', tech support line when I'm at work are people who are probably buying their fucking tech on Amazon who get incompatible shit because things are mislabeled and disorganized on here. God damn, RAM is so expensive. Jesus. Is there really nothing that goes for less than $80? That's absurd. Okay, Crucial has a 16 gigabyte kit for $63. That's not bad. And more than likely it'll clock to the speed that I need it at. I'd rather go with Crucial than XPG. I've never heard of that manufacturer. I can't remember what RAM I'm running on. That I should be ashamed of myself. Still, it should be easier to identify that. And why is it saying that my RAM speed is clocked lower than the minimum DDR4 standard? It. Oh, so it's 2400 RAM. Okay. Wow. I totally forgot about freaking DDR4. When you get that number, you need to double it. Wow. I'm freaking certified in computer repair, and I forgot some really basic rudimentary shit just now. That's pretty embarrassing, folks. I'm sorry that I'm not focused on that election right now. It's shit. So the less expensive kit I was looking at from Crucial, oh, it is going to be fast enough. But that's the thing, it doesn't say megahertz, it says MTs per second. I think that means that, but anyway, let's have a look here and filter for 2400 RAM. One 16 gigabyte stick is frickin' $66. That's crazy. Mushkin? Who makes this crap? think I would go, like, I'm definitely never getting to Gio Potenza. I've gotten that RAM before, and it literally doesn't work. It was DOA, and that's why I don't understand why it has so many good reviews. Like, they're garbage. I'll probably go with these Corsairs. What do they mean, sale ends in 3 days? Like, it doesn't say it's marked down from anything. Ew, 2 4 gigs. Why would you even bother? It really is unbelievable.